Nah. What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like, share, the subscribe button. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and if you want to see more content like this, hit that notification bell. What have we got today? The greatest news known to man. This one was written by World of Real. Shout out to World of Real, but it's been covered by umpteen different websites. It's only a rumour, but hey, you know, we can always dream. The rumour is that Lucasfilm head Kathleen Kennedy could be fired very soon. I mean, we've only heard this rumour about 46 times. I've dreamt about it, I've prayed for it, I've made wishes, I've thrown pennies into wishing wells. Get rid of the horrible lady that's just ruining every single franchise that Disney's thrown out there. You know I'm right, she's ruined Star Wars, she's gonna ruin Indiana Jones. So what's next on the chopping block? Hopefully her. Anyhow, without further ado, with Bob Iger returning as Disney CEO, because they've getting rid of Bob Paycheck, they've kicked Bob Chapek out, probably so that they can use him as a scapegoat, and they've brought Bob Iger the weatherman back in to save the day. Bob Iger was paid $10 million for a 5-year contract that kind of retained his skills, as they put it, as a consultant for Chapek in case he ran into trouble. So he could ring Bob up and say, "Hi Bob, it's Bob, can you tell me this? Do you know that? Or how should I do this?" It's like $2 million a year for answering questions. But anyway, Bob Iger's returning as the CEO. There's rumours swirling that Lucasfilm head Kathleen Kennedy might be on the chopping block. That is the best news I've had all year. These rumours have been going on for a few weeks now, but they've only accentuated since Iger's return. The Direct reported that Disney plans to relieve Kathleen Kennedy of her position soon. Coincidentally, a Business Insider piece from today also happens to insist that Iger absolutely needs to steer the Star Wars ship back on track. Now, if you're going to steer it back on track, you've got to think that the tracks are on a fucking volcano up there somewhere. So you've got to like push the Disney Star Wars train up this side of this volcano before you get it back onto the tracks. So you've got some work to do, Bob, because you've lost a lot of customers, a lot of fans, because you've called them all ists, phobes, babies, man babies. You came out with a stupid thing called like toxic fandom, which is a massive load of shite. You're taking intellectual properties and you're just destroying them. You had a chance with Force Awakens or any of the 3 horrible trilogy sequels, as they're called. You had the chance to have the most beloved trio ever committed to celluloid to be back on the screen together. You had Luke, Han and Leia. And don't forget Chewbacca, because he always gets left behind. You could have had the 4 of them on screen together once again, and you would have made billions more than what you made. But no, you let Jar Jar Abrams be in charge, and he just did a rehash of A New Hope with Force Awakens, and then you let little roundhead Ryan Johnson in to like fuck about, and I'll just do an experiment and see what happens, and killed Luke Skywalker off and pissed half the fandom off, and then called them babies for not getting it, because Ryan Johnson's a genius, even though he's a knobhead. Then you let Jar Jar back in for the demise of Skywalker. It was, oh man, what an absolute bag of cack. Of course you have all the people defending it, and each to their own. If you enjoyed it, more power to you. But crikey. Even from like an objective point of view, there were bad movies. There was more flaws than an Abu Dhabi skyscraper, put it that way. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So he needs to steer the Star Wars ship back on track, right? We know that. He's got a hell of a job on his hands. There hasn't been an actual Star Wars movie since 2019's The Demise of Skywalker, and the franchise's next film supposedly is in 2025. There was a planned trilogy from Last Jedi director Ryan Johnson, which was announced in 2017. That's been put on the back burner, and it should have been put on the bonfire. Johnson recently said he still hopes to make it. Yeah, you can get the fuck, mate. Keep them away from Star Wars. Keep people like that away from Star Wars and make some Star Wars. You see better Star Wars in like cutscenes from video games. There's stuff on YouTube where people have put cutscenes together from various Star Wars video games, and they look fucking amazing. Like, if you can do that, you can make a Star Wars movie, and yet you can't make a Star Wars movie. The place is run by idiots, man. Come on. My advice to Disney is simple. Don't rehire Johnson. says the man or the lady who wrote this article. Not because he's a bad filmmaker, he's actually a pretty good one. He is when he's not doing Star Wars, he's kind of okay. Like Knives Out did very well, and the Glass Onion, is it the Glass Onion? His new one's doing pretty good as well. He's good at that sort of film. Just keep away from Star Wars, you little knob. He's actually a pretty good one. No, it stems more from the fact that the majority of Star Wars diehards just plainly do not like him for what he did with The Last Jedi. And that's 100% true. And that's not because they're crybabies or like toxic or all that shit. They're just passionate fans. We've been fans since 1977. Can nobody say that? The reason that Star Wars was sold for like 3 or 4 billion or however much it was because of people that like loved Star Wars and bought all the shit. They bought all the movies. They bought the movies on VHS. They bought the special editions. They bought them on DVD. They bought them on Blu-ray. They bought them on 4K. They bought them on iTunes. They bought t-shirts and merch and hats and figures and toys and lightsabers and like gimme, gimme, gimme. That's all they wanted. And then you served them up with a big fat plate of horse shit and said, eat that, you bunch of tramps. And they said, no, we don't like eating horse shit. Oh, well, you toxic then. I'm not playing with you. That's how Disney treat its fans. That's how Ryan Johnson went after them on Twitter. The little fanny. What a fanny. You don't like me film, so I'm gonna call you names. What a dong. Like Hollywood's full of babies, man. Babies. Grow up. Anyway, what the hell am I talking about? People don't like him for what he did to The Last Jedi. Fair crack. But for 10 years, how on earth has she been in control for a decade? Kennedy has presided over the Star Wars brand, saying the Force is female, and like, let's just inject loads of feminist politics in there. Let's look what they did to oh my god. They made Rey, she was just a wet lettuce, but she was fantastic at everything. But look what they did to like the male characters. You killed Han Solo because he was a bad father and threw him off a bridge, and nobody really mourned for him. You killed Luke Skywalker. You turned Luke Skywalker into a tramp with like no hopes or aspirations. Unforgivable. Look what you did to Finn. Like John Boyega was mugged. You made him into a laughing stock. You made him into the comic relief, and he should never have been the comic relief. He should have been at least like the new Luke Skywalker or Han Solo figure. But nah, he was a clown. You made him into a clown because you thought it was funny. So for 10 years, Kennedy has presided over Star Wars brand, and it's also bore the wrath of many Star Wars fanboys, especially when it comes to the recent trilogy that reinvented the lore of the franchise. It mentions John Campier, and he says that he has sources that have informed him that the move to remove Kathleen Kennedy has already been decided. About time. The best Star Wars movie since Kennedy took control of the ship was also the one that was the biggest production headache for Disney, and that would be Gareth Edwards' Rogue One, which I kind of enjoyed. It was the most Star Wars that we've had since the idiot group took over, since the circus came to town, and the entire thing was run by clowns. What's Bob Iger gonna do? Has he realised that like the thing that counts are the customers and the bottom line? Like, you're not making money, mate, and people are coming away from Disney Plus in droves as well, because you're just churning out content. You're not thinking about what you're doing. Right, we'll just give them this so they can look forward to the next piece of content to consume, and you're churning out shit. But that's just my opinion. That might not be your opinion. You might love everything that they've done, and that's fine. But I'm just trying to strive for better writing, better characters, better entertainment, because we are paying for it, and I don't like paying for things that aren't up to scratch. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know your opinions. Do you think Kennedy is finally going to get the chop, as it's been on the cards for a couple of years now? And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye now.